All right, so hello, everyone, and welcome back. Look, you all, we are not just getting started, but we are going to keep going with the Effort series. And so if this is your first time ever even hearing me, and you're like, I don't even know who she is, well, let me tell you, I am Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that, and I am the Effort lady, right? Meaning I'm faithing it, facing it, and fulfilling my purpose. I'm committed to it. And so all of this month, in honor of Women's History Month, we have been talking to phenomenal women all around the world, in every state, right? About their journey. And that's what it's about. Real women, real issues, coming up with real solutions. Let me say that again. Real women come with real issues, coming up with real solutions. And so if this is your first time tuning in, make sure when you're coming in, you say, hey, hi, hello, say something. Let us know where you're tuning in from, because we want to stay connected with you. Also, go ahead, take 1 or 2 seconds, hit the share button. That's how you can support, because we don't want to withhold any information from anyone. But tonight, you all, I have a special guest joining us on tonight. And y'all, I know you're like, oh my gosh, she must be, because I'm smiling ear to ear, right? But I have known this young lady all of my life. Do you understand me? All of my life. And so tonight, we have the honor of having, wait for it, right? Attorney Cartia Basnight. Yes, you all. Attorney Basnight is joining us on the live stream broadcasting tonight. And I'm super excited, because not only is she my heart, you all, but this is my biological sister, okay? She ain't just sis. This is little sis. I'm big sis. And you are in tune for a conversation on tonight. We have so much to cover, and I'm just excited. And so let me go ahead and bring her on in here.
Hey,
Well,
hello, hey, Lika.
So you all heard her. She said, hey, Lika, right? So that's my nickname. So if you really know me, then you know that's my nickname. And probably a lot of my followers, they don't know that. So y'all don't be inboxing, hey, Lika, but you can. It is all good. So Cartia, Attorney Basnight, thank you so much for joining us on this evening. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy and excited to be here. You are very live. You have a lot of energy.
Always. You know, I've always had this much energy. So we're going over to the chat really quick. Selena says, good evening, ladies. Hey, Selena. Westine, I understand. So look, you all, you can always catch this on the replay. Also, go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't have to scroll through my Facebook or anything. All the videos are right there on my YouTube channel. So if you have not subscribed, go ahead. Selena says, hello, Cartia. Yes,
Hi.
You all, it is my sister. Right? And so, Cartia, we're excited to have you here. You all, I don't know if I should be nervous or what, but because she know all the business, right? She know all the business, but it's nothing more than what I have always discussed with you all as well. So Cartia, once again, welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your super busy schedule to join the Effort series. And you all, I'm here to tell you, she's out there. I say the baddest attorney in the 757, and she out there effing it up. Like, for real. She's out there effing it up. And if you don't know what effing is, for all my church people, before you throw the shoes and the Bibles and everything at me, it's faith it, face it, and fulfill it. So, Cartia, where do we want to start with you? Okay, so you all, a few things about her. Right. Well, Cartia, we're going to let you talk about it. Give us a few things that you want our listeners and our viewers to know about you.
Well, she already said it. I'm an attorney. I am, outside of that, I love working with youth and young people. And most importantly, I really enjoy inspiring and encouraging people to manifest and live the life that they so desire. And so that is one of my biggest goals, and just something that I really enjoy. And it doesn't matter the age or where you're from. I just like meeting people and giving tons and tons of encouragement and tons of inspiration that will help change mindsets that lead to changing lives, and then in turn changing, one generation to the next. So those are just a few things that, I would like your listeners to know about me.
So look, you all, I love it, right? About your mindset. That's where what they say, your stinking thinking. You all, we got to get rid of the stinking thinking and change our mindset for the manifestation, right? Change your mindset for the manifestation. Some of us are praying, right? And we've been praying for 20 years for the same thing. Why haven't you received it? It's a great possibility. It's a great possibility that your mindset, you really don't believe. You have to believe that you can have it. You have to believe that you deserve it. And that's what it's all about. And so Cartia said she loves just meeting people, encouraging people to say, you know what? You can have it all. There's no good thing that you can't have. And so Cartia, when you think back over your life, right, and you're definitely living the life that you want, right? We didn't say the life that people deserve, because sometimes we don't get what we deserve, right? But you're creating, and you have created the life that you deserve. And so take us a little bit on that journey. Well, let me ask you this, from a little girl, right? And you all, yes, we're sisters for those who are tuning in, but yes, we grew up in the same household. Yes, we have the same parents, and we have a little, what we call him, well, he is our little brother, but he's our little big brother. Right. And I think I'm gonna bring him on here one night, and we all just gonna get up here. Y'all let us know if that's what you want to see, because we here to F it up, like for real. Faith it, face it, and fulfill it. And so Cartia, take us through some of that journey of either starting from a little girl. Mm-hmm. Have you always had that mindset of I'm going after it? And I could tell you some funny stories, right? But we'll let her discuss in that time frame, because you talk about mindset, you talk about manifestation. Mm-hmm. And so being that you are living the life that you want. Oh, shoot. Selena said, bring the little big brother. Y'all ain't going to be ready for growth. I'm telling you right now.
I'm going to let him say hi if he happened to stop by tonight. But
right. So tell us a little bit about how your mindset, because she went through law school, right? And the thing is, she wasn't in law school locally. Right. And so walk us through that journey from when did you know that, you know what, this is what I want to do, and I'm going after it.
So for me, I knew ever since I was 4 years old that I wanted to be an attorney, and where that came from, I just believe it was something that I was just destined to do. Probably when I was formed in my mom's womb, and God knew that was the path that I needed to take, and that, was something that was set for my life. And I always grew up, since we were born, our parents were in the faith. They were in the church. So we grew up in church. We grew up in a home that was very loving, very supportive, very encouraging. And so for me, again, ever since I was 4, I knew I wanted to be an attorney. So at 4, you have this vision of, or even at a young age, you have a vision of what you want to be, but you may not know all of the steps or the process or what it's going to take to actually be there, or the connections. And so for me, I did not have other people in my family who were attorneys. In fact, growing up, I was not around anybody who was an attorney who could mentor me from a young age. Mm-hmm. But ever since I was 4, I used to always want to dress up. I used to always wanted to have a briefcase. I used to always wanted to wear church shoes. I used to always pretend like I was in a classroom or in the courtroom teaching teddy bears and dolls. So where that came from, because I was so young and not, again, being around anybody that was in the legal field at all, I believe that was just God's destiny and his purpose for my life. And so growing up, every time I would say that, my parents would just encourage it. Now, they weren't lawyers at the time. To my knowledge, they didn't have friends that were lawyers. Now, obviously, my dad being in law enforcement, was very familiar with the court system. But this is, later on in my life. We grew up, starting off in our younger ages, our parents were in the military. And so it wasn't until, later on, maybe elementary school or whatever, that my dad became a police officer and, was always telling court stories and different things like that. But by that time, I honestly already knew what I wanted to be. And so
Cartia, let me stop you right there. You all, this is how powerful manifestation is, right? So even though she was young, right? But when we think about being young. We dreamed big. We didn't have any fear of anything. We wasn't afraid to go after it, right? Mm-hmm. But even down to saying, and y'all, I remember this, right? She would be so upset if she could not wear these church shoes to school.
Now,
y'all, she would be so upset not able to wear these church shoes to school. Now, yes, we grew up in the church, and I'm talking about Kojic, right? So we was there for everything. I mean, 7 days a week we was in church, but it wasn't a problem, right? Mm-hmm. It was not a problem. It kept us grounded. But when we think of the power of manifestation, this is where I want to sit for a minute, because there's power in visualization. And I do believe too many people don't visualize. So even at 4 years old, right? I'm pretending that I got a briefcase. I'm dressing up. At 4 years old, I'm dressing the part, right? And I'm getting upset when I got PE and I want to slide around in these church shoes. And that's okay. But you all, can you visualize beyond where you are? Because even, y'all, she said at 4. You know how some people have the story, I've been singing since I was 4 years old. Don't get it twisted, y'all. We used to sing too. We were the Barbarettes. We was a whole bunch of different things in church. And we used to sing on Easter Sunday and all of these things. But at 4. But then let our viewers and listeners understand that you were young, but you had a vision. Mm-hmm. But then in the midst of all of that, someone else said, Selena said, we're going over to the chat cards here. We got to, she said, I also wanted to be a lawyer. So in that, knowing that, you know what, I always, she always had the mouth for it. She always thought on another level, right? She was always, you ain't coming for her. And she had it, she was going to break it down for you. Mm-hmm. But in the midst of that, so from 4 years old to the actual manifestation of saying, you know what, I'm in law school. Take us through that journey, because people need to understand, once I got into law school, mm-hmm. someone else said I wanted to be a lawyer as well. Let us know that journey, because you weren't local, mm-hmm. you were away from your family. And we are a close-knit family, even though we had some financial issues and different things. We're a close-knit family. Take us through that journey from law school to actually practicing.
And I think the journey still started when I was 4. And so, I always tell people when they ask me questions like that, I always start off with my foundation. So knowing what I wanted to be, but not having the techniques or anybody around me to flourish that, I grabbed on to the things that I did learn. And one of those foundations, I will forever give honor and kudos to my bishop and first lady, Pastor Carl J. Van and Pastor Barbara. I grew up in a faith-based household, but as far as learning the ABCs and the tools of faith, I got it from sitting in New Life. And yes. So I remember at a young age just grabbing on to some of the things that Bishop would say, dealing with the ABCs of faith, or calling those things that be not as though they were, et cetera, et cetera. And so those are the things at that time, even at that young age, that I had before me. And so I would just write. I would write how I wanted my schedule to be. I would write how I would want, my tithes to be. I would write how I wanted my checks to be, how my day would look. And so even moving forward to high school, I still use those techniques and the messages that he would preach. And then, the encouragement from my parents, the love from my parents, the word that we got within the house. And I would just say, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. And so I would write my own self-acceptance letters to law school in my journal. Oh, congratulations, Basnight, you've been accepted. Da, 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 da. Your start date is here. And so, kind of fast forwarding it, without giving all the details, one day I did get that acceptance letter. I applied, and different challenges came up along the way, all type of obstacles and everything. And one day I got the acceptance letter, and then from there I moved, and now I needed to take the tools and stuff that I learned and take them to another level. And one thing that I want to say is, when you follow the path that you're supposed to follow and you're doing the things that you want to do, every time you go to a new level, there will be people there who've been waiting for you, who they may not even know that they've been spiritually aligned or whatever, to be there for you. And so when I got to law school, one of the first thing I did was I found a home church, and I was going to Life Changers, and that's where I met Dr. Stacia and Dr. James Pierce. I'm still listening to Bishop, still taking the word from Pastor Van and applying that even away from home. And what would happen is when I met Dr. Stacia, she is a master success journalist. If you want to ever learn the tools of journaling and manifestation, I have one of her journals right here. I bought multiple ones of them every year and go through all of them every year. But she just really taught a technique of journaling. So even though, being a young girl, even in high school, I'm just writing in a blank journal. When I got to that level, now I'm having journals that have specific techniques, specific quotes, specific things that you should do. And so through law school, that is really what I followed. The prayer and purpose planner every day, if not every day, multiple times out of the week, I'm writing out how my life. And one thing that I often say is, your present will one day be your future. So where you are presently and the things you're manifesting and you're asking for one day will be your future. So what are you doing to, kind of like prepare for those things?
So let's stop right there.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. My brother did just stop by and walk in. Lika was talking about you earlier. Say hi to him.
Oh, come on, brother. Come on in, brother. The people say they want to see you. That's my brother, y'all. Hey, Joey. Boy, you looking good. Say hey to the people, Joe.
Hey, y'all.
So slide on in. Get in this conversation.
he said he got to go.
Yobi. So look, you all, that's my brother, but we love each other, and that's our baby brother. So I'm big sis, little sis, and little big brother. And so look, they say hi, brother. Hey, brother. Yes, that is my brother, Josiah Basnight, you all. Yes, Jasmine. She says a family affair. Yes. Y'all want to see a whole family affair? I'm going to get my daddy and mama up here one day.
No, you don't.
Thank you, Yobi. And so, yes, Keatris, I love it. You say your presence will one day be your future. And so what Cartia is saying, you all, this is what effort is all about. Because if she did not decide to say, you know what, I'm going to have an effort attitude, and despite the obstacles, despite the opposition and everything that may be going on in her transition, right? In the midst of her transition, she said, I still have to keep going. I still have, because if she didn't, look, you all, this is powerful, because some of us are still praying for some of these things. And it's not that God's promise has changed for your life. It's that you're possibly using the wrong tools, or you're not applying. Cartia said something very, very profound. She took the word, she took that information, and she applied it to her life. So some of us are not applying the word to our life. We're hearing it, we're not taking it in and saying, you know what, let me apply the healing scriptures because this is what I need. Let me apply the scriptures to that financial breakthrough that I need. Yes, Selena says no matter what, she didn't give up, you all. And too many times that's what we end up doing. We end up giving up. And so in her journey, needless to say, once she even finished law school and graduated, and you all, she went to law school in Michigan. We lived in they still live in Virginia, but we were in Virginia. She went all the way to Michigan, went to law school. After that, after doing internships, right, Cartia? Internships and different things for top judges in all these different cities and all these things. After that, after all of that schooling and everything, it was like no one was hiring, or no one was accepting new attorneys or into the firm, or whatever the case may be. My husband told her this. He said, why don't you start your own? And now, how long have you been in business now?
11 years. Sorry, we was taking care of a little bit of family business. We
look, this is real transparent. Then I say this real women, real issues, real solutions. Look, this is, like they said, this is a family affair, and they had to handle some business. Now y'all gonna fill me in on the business, right? I'm just kidding. But you all, my husband told her, start your own. And that's exactly what she's done. It hasn't been an easy journey, like all the people out here wanting, hey, I want to become an entrepreneur, I want to do these things, but you all, she's stuck it out. And so she's had her own practice now for 11 years. That speaks volume. But years ago, she says she was writing checks. Years ago, she was putting things into place for the manifestation to come past. So what are you doing? Hey, Reese, what are you doing right now that's setting you up for later? Let me say that again. What are you doing right now? Because this is the thing. We can't change the past, right? We couldn't change that our family struggled financially, right? We couldn't change that we lived in the church. Cartia, you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
My brother said, like, no, y'all, we like literally lived in the church.
Hey, Reese.
We lived in the church. And I remember when Bishop would be preaching sometimes, the dog would be barking. And my dad would have to go walk the dog down the street. We remember driving a car that people called the can opener. Mm-hmm. Right, y'all? It was rusted. It was warm and nice on the inside, but you got too close to that thing, you might got cut. But we remember those things. We remember the lights being off. But that didn't stop anything. Cartier, what we used to do when the lights was off?
Play charades, light some candles, keep it moving. Right. And my brother just said our friends still wanted to come over. And so, you know, that's the thing is, it wasn't until I was older that I realized that we struggled financially. And it was all about my mindset. I didn't, it was real, but I did not understand the gravity of the financial struggle until I was older. Because in my mind, ever since I was a kid, it was, I was never in that present. I always knew I'm going to be successful. I'm going to do this. I'm going to reach back and help my family. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And so even though that was the reality, that wasn't in me. And one thing that Bishop always talks about is not the water that sinks the boat when it's on the outside, is what you allow inside of you.
Come on.
Allow things to start to sink. And so I am a big person on fortifying your mind, fortifying your peace, fortifying your heart, so that you do not react to the circumstances that are around you. Whatever is going on around you, still be you. So yeah, no lights. We had this one house, y'all, that had a hole in the ceiling.
Come on.
I didn't realize how bad that was until I got older, because
like Tia, that house should have been condemned.
Reese is in the comments. Reese been to the houses. And so it was still all love. And that's one thing I'm so thankful that our parents never magnified our financial situation as an excuse or as a hindrance for us to go and be what we want to be or do what we want to do. Carmen never let us let us walk out of the house. If you didn't know us to know that we didn't have electricity at some point, you would never know it. Because our parents, one thing I love about my dad, that he always say, you cannot cry over spilled milk.
Look, put a pin in that. Y'all type that in the chat. You
cannot cry over spilled milk.
You cannot cry over spilled milk. Now, let us clarify this down. You learn the lesson and do something different.
You don't keep spilling the milk.
But one thing we can say, the things that our parents did instill in us, right? Sometimes people have a poverty mindset. So that's why you stay broke. We never had a poverty mindset. Even when we lived in Motel 6 for a little while, y'all, it wasn't a vacation. You can't pay me to stay in Motel 6.
It was a vacation for me.
Look, they said you cannot cry over spilled milk. One thing that my parents instilled in us, though, you keep pushing. You keep moving. We never saw my dad quit. We never saw him give up. You know, even in the midst of, we saw people treat them a certain way, and we was like, oh, they ain't never going to treat us like that. I bet you won't talk to me like that. That was what we saw. But even in the midst of that, look, they shielded us. And yes, some people was like, oh, they was just overprotective and all of these different things. Call it what you want to call it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But one thing I can say, even when we went to school smelling like kerosene, we still made
because we had no regular heat.
We had no regular heat. Sometimes, Tia, remember, sometimes we couldn't even afford the oil.
Right.
So there was one time the lights was off, the water was off. Who out there can relate to having the warm water up or get some jugs of water and just wash up? But we're going somewhere with this because that was a temporary situation.
Right.
So how are you preparing your next generation? How are you even preparing for your next? Are you still stuck in a temporary situation thinking I'm never going to get out of this? I can tell you this, you keep speaking, you're never going to get out of it. You ain't never going to get out of it. Right? And so, yes, my parents, we lost the house and different things. But when I say the love, not that we had a perfect household, y'all, okay? But we never saw my dad hit my mom. Right? There's some
really fuss, unless mom was fussing about the house not being clean.
Right. My dad was either fussing about the time because we was always.
And my mom was fussing about a dish being in the sink.
Right. She wanted to wash dishes after she being late for church, and he wanted to get out there and be an hour early. Exactly. But you all, we share this because we want we want you all to understand. Someone may be out there listening right now, and you're thinking that, oh my God, my life is horrible. Oh my God, I wish I had another family. I can tell you one thing: we never wish that we was in another family. We never wish that we had what some other people had. We used to be looking at people like, why y'all want to come over to this raggedy looking house? But guess what? It might have been a hole in the ceiling. But when I say them floors and everything was clean, we had a cooked meal. And look, let's go over to the chat. Aunt Kathy says, we love you guys. We love you too. Keatra's Key says, I can relate. You all, you already know. If you have not shared the video, go ahead and hit that share button. Reese said, and look, you all, we grew up with Reese. We all used to sing together, VIP and everything. We used to sing together in the same church. Elder Carmen kept a clean house. You better say it, Reese. That God, cleanliness is next to godliness. And if she ain't keep a clean house, and Reese said the food was fire. Now that's one thing we did. My dad was going to grill and we was going to have some jug juice, okay? Selena says it's not greener on the other side. Right. And so what we're saying and sharing this, and we can laugh at this because you all, that's not where we are. We didn't stay there. That's a temporary situation. Those were temporary moments. Yes, we might have had people laughing. Yes, we might have had some people joking, but like Reese said in the comments, look where you are now. And then we're even looking beyond that because where we are now is not it.
Right.
Like this is literally just the beginning, but we want to encourage someone even on tonight. You may be thinking, I don't live in a healthy household. One thing, my parents, they never talked down to us. They never, we didn't get abused. Now we did get a couple of beatings, but we get a couple of whoopings, y'all. But it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. And so the love, no, not that we're perfect. No, we didn't agree on everything. But what family does? But when you have a family that you can stay together, that can encourage you and say, you know what, keep going forward, keep pushing. And when you even look back, when we look back on those times now, that's why we can sit up here and laugh.
I could laugh then. I mean, because it was never in me. It was one of those things where, and someone in the comments said, speak positive words. One thing that Lika said was we didn't stay stuck there, not physically or mentally. I'm not blaming my parents for anything that happened to me when I was young. Now, when we were in college and stuff like that, we were good. Nice house. Yeah, we lost the house or different things happened, but we're talking about, high school age and stuff like that. But we didn't stay there mentally. And even if there's young people watching this, or even older people who are still have their mental thought of, I can't move from this because I'm stuck in my mind from things that happened in the past, you have to renew your mind. And you have to encourage yourself sometimes, be around encouraging people. No, I'm a reader. I know everybody is not a reader, but that's okay because today they got Kindle, Audible, Google Play, and everything else for you to feed yourself the things that you need to feed yourself to bring yourself up. If nobody else is encouraging you, learn to encourage yourself. If no one else is rooting for you, learn to root for yourself. And sometimes people think it's harsh when you say, I'm very sympathetic to people in their foundation, because your foundation can cause you to be a certain way. When I'm talking about foundation, I'm talking about childhood. I'm not going to sit here and say that something that happened in your childhood does not have the effect in your adulthood. We see that all the time. And so
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I'm big on is I love to encourage anybody. You can come in my life and in my office or whatever and be a person that can drop thousands and thousands of dollars on my desk. I'm going to treat you just the same as the person who comes into my life or my office who can't do that. But I am an encourager of the underdogs. The people who think it's over, or, I grew up like this or I grew up like that, those are the people that I really, truly enjoy encouraging and enlightening them and bringing them information or knowledge or
Mm-hmm.
books. Or I'm not just a talker, I'm a giver. So I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to tell you how I did it. How I did it may not work for you, but I'm going to give you all type of other
Yes.
avenues that you could use, because I am a firm believer that I don't care where you started in life, who your
Yes.
parents are, where your foundation is, what country you came from, you can always better yourself. And yes,
Yes.
we all start at different levels, and some things may not be ascertainable to some, but from where you are, wherever you are, whatever your next level is, I know that you can make it. I 1000% believe that. 1000%.
Yes. Look, and you are, Joyce says, right, I am now my best cheerleader. And Joyce,
Mm-hmm.
I love that, because sometimes we're waiting on certain people. We want certain people, and we have certain expectations from people to say, well, why you didn't cheer for me?
Right.
And I'm waiting on you. Well, you might be waiting on them. What if they never show up to cheer for you? Then what?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just going to sit there and have a pity party? And we're not taking anything away from anyone's situation. We don't want anyone to think that your trauma or anything is not significant. But what we're saying is, you don't have to stay in the trauma. You can have triumph. And now is your time. Today is your day. If you're feeling stuck, to say, you know what? I have been allowing myself to stay stuck, because I can't blame my mom. I can't blame my dad. I can't blame anyone. I can't blame my teachers. I can't blame anyone if I decided, even after I had got pregnant, and you all know I laugh about this, for the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. I did it 3 times, right? Even then, if I had a choice, to say, I'm not going to finish school. I had a choice to say, you know what, I'm going to have an abortion. I had a choice to make. Right? Despite everything around me, I had a choice to make. So you have a choice. And when we take ownership, we have to take ownership. And Cartia touched on that, saying you can't blame everyone else. Right? You got molested? No, it wasn't right. It wasn't. You got abused? Nope, it wasn't right. But when do you say, God, I am going to allow you to come in, heal me from the inside out. I am going to do the work. Okay? Because look, my church people out there, I'm about tired of y'all reaching up and grabbing it. Reach up and grab it. How many more times you go? No, it's time to bust out that Bible and apply it. Bust what, Cartia? Why are you shaking your head?
Because you're funny. Hilarious.
I'm just saying, like, how many times have we heard that? And people's lives have not changed. And it's not because, unless you don't go to a word-based church, but one thing I can say is that we attended a word-based church. And so if you did not get the word, you did not apply the word, whose fault is that? That ain't your bishop's fault. That's not the pastor's fault. That's your fault.
Or any other teacher for that matter. Whoever,
Right.
believe that God brings people into our lives. Sometimes we look for certain things to come in a certain package, and when we don't see it in that package, we kind of ignore or we miss what the opportunity is. And so not everybody knew faith, not everybody grew up in church, but somewhere along the line you were given or an opportunity or exposed to some type of tools that you could use to bring yourself to the place in life where you see yourself and where you want yourself to be. And one thing I always say is sometimes we just have to get quiet. We have to be quiet. One thing that I'm big on is there are times where daily I have quiet time. I am a very busy person, extremely, to be honest. But in order for me to keep going and feel myself and keep my mind renewed and keep the thoughts right and make sure that I'm staying in a frequency that I am attracting what I'm feeling. Because sometimes we say, oh, if I say it, I say it. But if you say it with no real belief, or power behind it, or you're not on that level of frequency that's truly attractive. You're just speaking words. Now, yes, you can say something long enough to convince yourself, and that's fine. Let's do that. Whatever we got to do. Look in the mirror, give yourself a sticky note, write in your journal, do your affirmations. You know, I'm a big person that I do affirmations daily as well. You just have to find the tool and the thing that works for you, but you still have to make sure that you get that time to be quiet so that you can. One thing that my niece said a long time ago, even as a little kid, or it might have been Jeremiah, I think it was Carty, think about what you're thinking about. Sometimes our minds are racing so much during the day. My dad tell me often that he get a headache watching me because I can be doing 10 things literally at one time, multitasking. And that's how sometimes, have you ever set your keys down? Like, I know I had my keys in my hand, but where did I put them? Or I know I had a wallet or my cell phone. Where did I put it? But you're doing so many things at one time that sometimes we really aren't thinking about what we're thinking of. What thought did I just allow in my head? What was I doing a minute ago?
But let me say this, because that one thought, and we touched on this the other night, a negative thought will take you all the way back. And this is why I say sometimes people don't take the time to heal properly. Right? We can say we forgave. We say, oh, I'm over it. It is what it is. No, it really not. It is what it is, y'all. Because the is what it is could really be killing you from the inside. The is what it is may not be good for you. The is what it is may be something that's coming out of your mouth that's not aligning. And so that's why you're not receiving the manifestation. Because some of us are throwing in the towel too soon. Some of us are holding on to things too tight. Some of us are not releasing some of the things that we need to release in our life. And so even in all of that, be your biggest cheerleader, right? It's God has given you a vision. No, I never wanted to be an attorney, not an aspiration, not an inspiration. My sister is an inspiration, but the career and stuff, the path that she's chosen, that's not for me. What I do, she would never do. It's not what she would do. What I do, she would never do. But that is okay. But when you learn to, number one, embrace and accept you, then everything and everyone around you, you're not worried about what people are going to say. You're not worried about what people are going to think. You're not worried about, about the situation and the obstacle. You just learn how to respond. And some of us we keep responding the wrong way. We keep responding the wrong way. And so people now, some people expect you to respond a certain way, right? If they used to you knucking and bucking and they used to you going off, that's what they used to. Think about a child. If a child already knows the consequences and what's going to happen, they'll tell you.
Right.
Well, all they're going to do is take my phone away. All they're going to do is give me a beating. So I might as well keep doing what I'm doing. So even as adults, sometimes we just don't take ownership and responsibility for where our life is. A lot of times we want to keep pointing the finger at other people and at other things. And now is your time to say, you know what? I'm going to take ownership because I'm choosing to stay in this place. I'm choosing not to surrender everything to God. I'm choosing to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and then be upset. I'm choosing these things. So when do you decide that I'm going to make another choice? You have the opportunity today, right? We're here. We're here. And so Cartia, you mentioned, Cartia is not married or anything, you all. She has no children yet. Look, don't y'all take that the wrong way. Don't be out here spreading no rumors because, let me find out. No, but seriously. And God has kept her, right? And so she's about her business. She's about her business, but she's about people. Like she said, she's a giver. And so, Cartia, in the midst of, okay, so we done went through your childhood and different things, and you all have a glimpse into our household, right? Of some of the things that we struggle with, even though we was in the church. But that's not where you are now. That's not where we are now. We've moved. So look, Selena said her business is her baby.
Right.
So we're going over to the comments. That's right. Do you, Reese says. Our past does not define our future, right. Keisha says. Reese says, everyone has a gift God has given them for them. Amen, Reese, because a lot of times when we start looking at other people's gifts, focus on your own gift. Nurture your own gift. Work your own gift, right? And when we stay in our lane, doing what you're supposed to do, there's so much gratification. But I want to go back to manifestation because I know some of our viewers and listeners are like, okay, well, if she's a master manifester, outside of journaling, what else is she doing? Now, I want to see in the comments who else journals, right? And we're not talking about writing the vision over and over and over again and you never take action. We ain't talking about that because now you just writing and wasting time. I'm going to just say it. Now you're just writing for the heck of it and you wasting time because you haven't taken action. So I want to see in the comments who journals or who believes in manifestation. You call it faith or whatever you want to put on it. But wherever you are to where you want to get to, there is work in between, right? There's work in between. And so outside of journaling, this is why they can't come up here, y'all. They having sidebar conversations. Josiah didn't want to get in the
I'm laughing at my brother.
So Josiah, you want to say something?
He said no, he don't want to say anything.
Oh, okay. He got back in that camera though. You all, we just have fun. We just have fun. Like real family, real issues, real solutions. Okay. Then y'all, I can't.
I told you to give a disclaimer to your viewers at the beginning. Okay.
What should I have said? Look, y'all, I ain't apologizing for nothing because this is just who we are, right? And if you can't have fun doing what you do, right? We don't always have to be so serious, right? And so Selena says she journals, right? So Artia says she journals. Keitra says, I can tell y'all have a good old time. Keitra, you ain't seen nothing yet, girl. But thank you all. And if you haven't shared the video, you are already know. Selena say
what, Selena?
What was your question?
Selena, don't get started, Selena. Don't get started. So give us some more tips.
Oh my gosh.
In the manifestation, because some people may be wondering,
right,
with that process, because it's a process. It's not like name it, claim it, pull it down, run around, twirl, twerk, whatever you do, whatever it is that you do. But you know they had that song out, Twerking for Jesus. Yo, I'd have never listened to the song, but I heard it. Oh God, Keitra says she cracking up over here. Look, you all, I'm not apologizing. This is how we are. And this is really serious right here. Selena says, I wish I had my baby brother with me. And you all, that is very powerful. Right? Because when you can't enjoy, right? And so many families, we just want to encourage you, even with this, that if you have quarrels or you're upset and you're having beef or whatever with your family members, make it right. Make it right, because none of us know. None of us know. So say what you're going to say, do what you're going to do with your family, and love each other. And so some of you all may be thinking, okay, is she a master manifester? I'm going to say yes, she is. She is. Cartia, can you let us know some things that you have manifested in your life?
I manifested going to law school. That in itself, becoming a lawyer, was a whole manifestation process. Manifesting my business, that's something that I've manifested. Every year I set goals, and I can honestly say that if I was to show you guys boards, I have whiteboards in various areas of my home that I write on daily. I come in, when I ask for something, I may go through my techniques for manifestation, then I check it off. And I can honestly say that at the end of every year, December 31st, as I'm preparing for the new year, or that last week of December when I'm reflecting, I would say 90% to 95% of the things that I asked for that year came into fruition. And when I find out that they don't happen, it's because something better happens later on. Now, I'm not saying that every time I try something for the first time, it's always a super success and I don't have failures and I don't have to try again. I don't have to come back to the drawing board to regroup. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is once I have what I want in my mind, that's all that matters. I don't have to know the how. I don't have to know the when. I don't have to know the where. All I have to know if that's what I want. That's what's in alignment. I pray about it. And if it's something that I know checks with my spirit and I deserve it and I know that I want it, then that's what I go after. But then I do the work. Even if I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe that a lot of people maybe we really don't know what we want?
I think sometimes people think they know what they want, but when it comes down to it and you break it down, then sometimes you realize actually that's not what I necessarily want. And that goes back to, I'm gonna get into some of the tools that I use, is that when you journal and when you have journals that are actually geared toward faith manifestation or manifestation in general, not every journal I use is made from a Christian or believer to my knowledge. I don't always go look up the authors. I look at the content in the book and if I could use it to apply to my life. And sometimes it helps you to really think. Sometimes we just have one big target, but we don't have any of the details of why we want that target. We're just saying we want it, but why do you really want it? And so one thing that I do is I think about what it is that I want. I remember this lady at our church preached this message called "Use What's in Your Hands." When I said I don't have to know the when, the how, or and all of that stuff, it doesn't mean that I just sit back and do nothing. I can use what's in my hands or the tools that are given to me to move towards that dream. And so I think that when you start doing that or whatever that goal is, then you will start attracting everything that you need to push you further to the goal. You start with where you are, okay? I know that I'm here and that's where I want to be. And I'm going to do what I can in my power, no matter how big or small my action is. The biggest thing is you got to take action. You can't say, I want this, I want this, I want this, and you never take action. Because if you find a way to manifest and money and goals and stuff fall literally out of the sky, please let me know.
Come on. Don't hold back the secret.
You have to take some type of action. And so I think one of the things is organizing your thoughts, organizing what you want. And I'm going to tell you this, manifestation does take work. That's why even faith without works is dead. Whether you want to interchange faith with manifestation, whatever word you want to use, without works is not going to work. So at some point you have to take action, and whatever that action is, you start where you are. Don't look at the next person. Don't look to your left, right, and none of that.
And let me say this, I do believe a lot of people start looking at things from the left, right, front, and behind. And then we get distracted because now, oh my God, this person is doing that. This person, okay, but we have to understand, it's like a marriage. What may work at your household, that might not work at my household. So do what or let's go down a little further, even making it a little more personal. If someone's on a weight loss journey, what may work for Cartia, it may not work for me. So I can't be, yes, we can glean from people. Yes, we can take advice. But ultimately, number one, praying and getting clarity, right? Getting clarity on what you're supposed to be doing. And once you have that, now you get this goal in mind. Because God is giving you the idea, he's giving you the vision. And so then from there, you still have to put in the work. And I don't care what level you get to in your life, you still have to put in the work. Now, there are some things where they say, work smarter, not harder.
Right.
I honestly believe when you're in alignment and you're obeying, though it's work, it's almost like work with ease, even when the obstacles come. So, I mean, I love where you're going with that because manifestation is so powerful. I keep saying there's no good thing that God will withhold from you. Nothing. But the thing is, it's our mindset. If we don't think we can obtain it, we won't really go after it. Or have you seen it, Carter, where people get the momentum and they start it? And I call it the triple S syndrome, start, stop syndrome. We start and we stop. We start and we stop. We start and we stop. In the process of manifestation, we have to stand hold and stand firm that, this is the goal. And I love what you said. I don't have to know the how to, the where to, or the when to. What I need to do is go to. Come on, somebody. I just gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to go. Get in the car and go and go. Because that's what the thing is. A lot of people are not going. I know some of us have been told that you're not smart enough.
Mm-hmm.
You're not capable. You're not, but you are. You are. And so, Cartia, continue even with the manifestation. And you all, I do want to say this. Let's go over to the chat really quick. Kathy said, Auntie Kathy says, amen. Gotta put in the work, teacher says. Selena says, take action. And you all, if you have some specific questions, go ahead and type them in the chat so that we can answer them as well. Because I don't want to hold Cartia up either. So we have about 10 more minutes or so. Or if she want to go a little longer, but 10 more minutes just in case. I respect people's time, right? My daddy taught us that.
Right.
Respect people's time. So if you all have any questions, put them in the comments. Now, Cartia is going to continue on with manifestation.
So for me, I do use different tools. And again, like I say, one of my things is I'm a reader and I'm a writer. And so I think that every day you have to remind yourself. Every day it's all in the mind. You have to keep your mind, hey, I don't care what happens. I don't care what comes my way. This is my goal, and I'm not going to stop until I reach it. And so for me, I encourage everybody to read this book. This is a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That is a great life-changing book. Again, one journal that I use is this is just and you can get different ones, but it's like I think I got this from Heaven and Earth. But it's called Jesus is Calling, but it's like a scripture journal. And I'm a type of person, I may write in 3 different journals a day. What worked for me may not work for you. Again, of course, the success journal. And let me just show you how it's kind of like, I don't know, it has your note sections, but it also has things that you're reading or your I am stuff for your affirmations. Another thing or another tool that I use is goal cards that Dr. Sasha created. I love these because you can post them up and have them anywhere. So I may have a short-term goal that I want to put up there. Of course, everybody knows about vision boards. This is I just got this book right here, and it's just called Manifestation Tools. And it has, let me just flip through. It has all kind of different stuff. I saw it and I said, oh, this may be something cool because I like to change it up. But if you want to start a business, it has business cards. What else in here? Gift vouchers. One of my favorite things in here, of course, is now I have plenty of manifestation books with checks. And I write myself checks all the time. And I honestly can say, and I'm not bragging in any sort, but when I write those checks, guess what? Sometimes I mail the checks to myself. Now, I take manifestation real far. So everybody don't have to do that. I just like being active in it. And guess what? Those checks come in. Those dollar amounts do come in. And I use that because I know everybody like money.
But let me say something right here, you all, while she's showing some of these tools, and I have put them in the chat as well. It's her belief. Right. Because you can do all of these things. You can get these books. You can write these checks. But if you don't believe, it's not going to come to pass. Right. You have to believe. So look, flex your belief muscle, get your belief game up, right? Get your faith game up, and knowing that, you know what, I can have these things, right? Believe in it. Desiree Gandy says, I am not good at journaling daily, something I may need to practice. It is, you all, it's like, it's refreshing, but it's a way to, and in my journal, I don't really, sometimes people put in their journal their thoughts, but these organized, like the success journal is very organized. So it really doesn't give me an opportunity. Like when I get that journal, I don't even want to put anything negative in it. Maybe how I'm feeling. It's literally puts you in that mind space of, okay, I have to F it. And that's why we're here with the F It series, because it's tools and things like this is that saying, you know what, in order to see the manifestation, in order to go to the next level or dimension in your life, you have to have an F it attitude. I told you all the other night, you can't go buy that out of Walmart. You can't go buy that out of Macy's. F it attitude is developed. Your faith is developed. Right? The tests and trials and obstacles, challenges, whatever you want to label it as, that you went through, it was a way to elevate your faith. And so people say, yes, I have several journals and all of this. You all, what I'm saying is get you a journal, because some of us, Cartia hit on it earlier. quiet yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the day-to-day and everything that we have, quiet yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to think about my goals. I remember working like 3 jobs, you all, and my sister can attest to this. I've always been one to have more than one job. That her, let me tell y'all this. Girlfriend went to one job outside of.
Nika, you don't have to tell all the stories.
I'm going to tell this one because this might bless somebody. Because you already knew that you really wasn't, you had a mindset that you really wasn't going to be able to work for other people.
Yeah, I knew that early on in life.
She knew that early. And so the one job that she did go to, she took a extended lunch break and never went back. Myself, I've always had more than.
Malika, tell the whole story, right? Because I do not encourage in that. The people were messing with me really badly. And they did something very horrible. And I've always been a type at whatever age I was, you just wasn't going to do anything to me. And so I called my mom and I left because she wasn't going to treat. Now I grew, now that I was younger, that was my one and only out of the side of the legal, that was truly my one and only outside of the legal field job I ever had in life. And I knew then that wasn't for me.
She knew then that it wasn't for her. So
but I do not encourage taking lunch breaks and not going back to your job. Quit the proper way.
What you say? Put this disclaimer out right now. Y'all ain't putting her name on it. She told you to walk off your job in the name of Jesus. She didn't say all that. She didn't say all that. But you all, even if you're, because I still work full time. I work full time. I work in my business as well. So no one wants to make any excuses, right? Some of us are still making excuses of why I haven't got to this place and why I haven't did this. And really, it could be a lack of consistency. Mm-hmm. It could be a lack of clarity. And it could be a lack of confidence. Mm-hmm. And so in developing an ethic attitude, this is what we're talking about, you all. You have to have an ethic attitude to go after everything because Cartia's not exempt from challenges. I'm not exempt from challenges. No one up here tuning in or catching this in the replay is exempt from challenges. But am I going to allow the challenge to stop me from coming into my next? Am I going to allow the challenge to stop me from going where I know God is taking me? No. So if you don't get anything else, I know you got some laughs and everything tonight, right? But if you don't get anything else from this, don't quit.
Right.
Because when you quit, you're definitely not going to see the manifestation of what it is that you're believing for, whatever it is that you're praying for. And so Cartia said she used different tools, and I did put some of these things in the chat.
This is one of the books I use. And something else that Carlita said, somebody may say, what happened? You know, how can I overcome? Because you don't know the challenges that I face. And I'm not going to deny that some challenges in life can be so overwhelming and seem so insurmountable that you do want to give up. Let's not pretend that doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. But it all starts in the mindset. And I think that once you get yourself in the mindset that truly, no matter what comes our way or what happens, I am going to still press towards my mark or press towards my goal. Now, the issue is, how do you get there? So you can't wait till the challenge come to start preparing your mind to overcome the challenge. You have to do something every day. Now, Desiree said, for instance, she's not good at journaling every day, and don't feel like you have to. Build yourself up to it. Write you some sticky notes here and there and paste them on your mirror or a door that you walk through every day and put your goal up there. And so that's what I'm saying. Don't feel like somebody's technique that may work for them may not, but I do know journaling works. So once you get into it, you build yourself up from there.
But Cartia, not even just the journaling. I love what you said. Putting something in an area that you visit every day. You all, last year on my refrigerator, I printed it out, the prayer of Jabez. And every time, because I done got a little fluffy, so you know I'm going to the refrigerator, right? Now look, and my husband a personal trainer, right? But anyhow, it's due to menopause, y'all. And I'm having a hot flash too. Y'all already know this. You already know we don't keep no secrets around here. But I had that prayer on my refrigerator. And every time that I walked to the refrigerator, every time I went in the kitchen, I read that prayer. Let me tell you something. At the beginning of last year, 2020, I said, I'm going to become an author before my birthday, which is in December. Now, you all, I didn't, like Cartier, I didn't know the how, the when, the where, but I just knew I was going to do it. I was praying that prayer of enlarging my territory. I was praying that prayer of, yes, God, bless me indeed. Because I understand the more he blesses me, the more I can pour into someone else. Because I'm not stingy like that. So I prayed that prayer. And let me tell you, the connections that I have made with people from the UK, India, and everywhere. Enlarge your territory. So we have to believe. In order to see the manifestation, you got to do some work. And Tia, I love what you said where, right, you don't have to do this. If you're not there to do it every day, it's okay. But it's about starting somewhere. If you can't do it for an hour, okay, can you start with 10 minutes? Mm-hmm. Can you start with maybe before you go to bed, turn the TV off? Can you play something while you're going to sleep? I know I play different things when I'm going to sleep. It may be affirmations, it could be the word and different things. And so Cartia's going to give us a few more tips, you all, before we get off of here. And he's going to give us a word of wisdom. I don't see any questions in the comments, but if you all have questions, go ahead and drop them, because we're going to open it up for you all to have some Q&A just for a few moments, because y'all already know when I get off here what I'm doing. Type it in the chat. You already know. Cover up to here, right? But Cartia, with the resources and things that you use, give us some words of encouragement or some advice to someone who may be listening and saying, you know what, I want to start. I want to change.
I would say start where you are. Get a book on faith. Get a book specifically on realizing goals. Another book that I love to use, and this is new for me too. I literally just got this one as well. I know back in the day, and even now for vision boards, you got to get a whole bunch of magazines and all of that. If you're a person who's short on time like me, use this right here. It has pictures and everything that you want in there. But I would just say start where you are. Find one tool that you can easily flip through or go to on goal setting, on staying your course, on making things happen. Find a book. Some of the books that I gave are very good. I know that they work. I know for certain that they work, and stick to it. Do something daily. I don't care if it's just an affirmation. Do something daily that moves you forward to bringing the life that you want, whether it's, and when we talk about life, people oftentimes automatically go to material things because that's what people hype on. But if it's the type of peace you want, getting rid of anxiety, getting rid of depression, bringing a certain atmosphere into your household, those are all things that are in our tangible world. And so what you do is get something that will help you to do that. Carlika mentioned something about listening. YouTube has all kind of tools that you could use. Things for peace. Sometimes I like music with no words, and so I'll play different frequencies for peace, for cleansing, for spiritual alignment, just different things that you can listen to. Make sure to agree with your spirit. Don't be listening to anything crazy, but listen to it, and then learn to make your atmosphere subjective to who you are. Don't become subjective to your environment or your atmosphere. You control the environment. You control the atmosphere. And I'm not married, so I don't speak a lot on marriage things, but just in any type of relationship. If you're in a partnership, it could be a business partner. It could be with your kids. It could be with your spouse. If things are not going the way that you want in your life, you start looking at tools and doing things to make what is going on that's not right. You don't change how you are based on the conditions. You change the conditions. And so how do you do that?
Hold on, back it up. Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
You don't make yourself change to succumb or to reflect the conditions. You change the conditions. Okay.
Come on, y'all. And change again, the conditions.
That takes work. And so I'm not saying this stuff happens overnight. Where I am today has been a whole process. I'm about to be of a certain age in June. And so this has been a process that I have been using my whole life. So I may talk and it may sound like it's really easy. And it is once you get into it and you get your rhythm and you get your flow and you get the tools that work for you. But just remember that you have control. You have control, and never feel like you have to succumb to something that you don't want. Again, I don't care how bad the conditions are, and it could be easier said than done. You keep your mindset the way that you need to keep it. You keep your spirit, your heart, your mind peaceful. Keep all of that
Yes.
in peace, so that again, it's not the water on the outside that sinks the boat. It's when the water gets in the boat that sinks it. So put up your space, your peace, your fortitude, your shield, whatever you got to do.
Yes.
Get the team like with Carlika, with different women, your church, your group, whatever, to keep yourself encouraged and keep yourself aligned and keep yourself clear and free from a whole bunch of garbage getting into you, so that you can manifest those things and see your life and live in the conditions that you choose to live in.
I love it. And look, the ladies, look, they say change the condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
You all, let's change our atmosphere, right?
Right.
It's something about an electrifying atmosphere. Like, it's something about a peaceful atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us don't have peace, so we can't even manifest anything because we can't focus. Some of us have too much fog in our life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we can't focus. So clear the fog, clear the clutter, right? Clear the clutter in your life. And that could be people. That could be extra junk that you just have in the house. It's not like, let me tell you all, because I believe in manifestation too. And that was my word. Oh, Cartia, what was your word for this year?
Abundance. I'm sorry,
Abundance.
I had to think about it, but it wasn't. I'm sorry. Let me hold on. Give me my journal, because it was abundance, but it was something that extravagant abundance. That's
okay, so her word
abundance.
Extravagant abundance. My word is manifestation for this year. Ladies, type your word for the year in the comment. Hey, Melissa, type your word in the whatever your word is for this year in the comments, because when things do get hard, when things do get a little tough, you have to recognize, you know what? Manifestation. I refuse to lay here and not do anything. And so you all, it's something, because I practice manifestation and stuff too, right? And Cartia is a little deeper in it than I am too. But start where you are. But it works.
Like, we even have the kids doing it now. Focus faith, focus manifestation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it.
Look, we can do a whole Zoom on this, ladies, if that's something that you all even want, because we want to see you go to the next level in your life. This is birthing season. Right? This is your time to birth that baby. This is your time to birth that gift. This is your time to unmute yourself where you're not being silent. Like, you all probably were laughing up here tonight and everything, but we can laugh at those things. Number one, we're free. Okay? I'm free to be me. I am free to be me. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to be free and confident to know that you can have it. But you got to believe, because even with us up here tonight, we want to push you into action, right? So Gandhi, Desiree said she's going to do a vision board. Gandhi, we want to see the vision board. We want to know when you're going to have this vision board, because we got to hold each other accountable. So she said, I'm going to do a vision board, open, focus, and commitment. We have to be committed. Yes, resiliency, you all. A lot of us have been through a lot of things, but we know, how many of us have had a but God moment? Like, when you think back on some of the situations that occurred in your life or you went through, but it was God. Keitra said, my word is explosive launch. Come on, you all. Resilience. Kathy says, I can do all things. I love it. Kay Brown. Hey, Kay. She said intentional. But Cartia, this comment that you made was so profound. Change the condition. We have the power. God has already invested in us the power to change our circumstances, to change our conditions. And so what are you going to do with it? Even after this video, this live on tonight, what you going to do with the information you got?
Right.
Because now we have to empower each other to take action. We have to empower each other to take action. And so, Cartia, I don't see, yes, Melissa says, but God, you all, Melissa has a powerful story as well. A powerful story. Melissa, I have to get you on the Epic show. I have to get you up here. And so, yes, Joyce says, but God. But God. And
it's so nice to see so many of our childhood friends and friends up here. And I don't know if Reese was gone, if Reese may be gone, but her mom, Elder Maria P. Williams Gideons, is now. But if Reese up there, tell your mom a shout out to her too, because she was very influential. Seeing Joyce, Melissa, and all of them up here. Elder Maria, man, throwing keys out the window for people to drive for cars. So Reese, if Reese's still up here, please tell your mom I say hi.
Yes. Selena says, align your heart and mind to peace. Yes, you are. I don't play when it comes to my purpose or my peace, and you shouldn't either. So, ladies, let me know if this has been good to you on tonight, right? We're talking about manifestation. We gave you some of our family backstory and different things just to let you know that you don't have to stay stuck, that you don't have to stay where you are. Melissa says, girl, yes, but God, look where I am now. Only Him. Yes, Melissa. Yes. We love you, love you, love you. Change your mentality and your conditions will align. Amen to that. And so, ladies, one more minute or so. If anyone have any questions, this has been great. This has been the best. And look, ladies, look, it's about manifestation because we want to see. I'm excited to hear the testimonies. I'm excited to let us know, right? Inbox me and let us know the testimonies and things and the leaps and things that you've taken in your life. And the transformation, because that's what it's about. We're transferring every day. Teachers, you already know. You all go ahead and type F it in the comments because that's what we're doing. We are effing it up all around the world. And once again, for those who are like, what? Effing it up. Yes, we are facing it. We are facing our challenges. And we are fulfilling our purpose. That is, we're being committed to doing that. And so the invitation is open to you. If you want to be a part of the Epic series, just inbox me. That's all I'm saying. Inbox me because the dates, people are already, I'm getting ready to give out dates for next month. And so I see the efforts coming in. Yes, ladies. Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to put Cartia's information up one more time. This is her website. For Basnight Law, and so the baddest attorney in Hampton Roads, and that's just my thoughts on it. I know nothing to anyone else, but nevertheless, if you're looking for a community of women who pray for you, push you, and praise you, we have our Facebook community, Women Who Pray, and we are creating our first 90 prayers, 90 women, 90 prayer devotional. And so if you want to take part in that, now we have opened it up to the public. So we still have a few spots left. And I don't have anything to hide from you. The investment is, or you want to say sowing into your own life, however you want to spend it, it's $100. The investment is $100. And so if you want to join that, come on and join the community. Yes, I still got to approve some people, but come on in because I'm going to let you in. You're going to get on up in there. And the last announcement that I do have, our next method.
Not announcement, though.
Yes, our announcements. Our Epic Boot Camp, the next one, the first one that we had on the 15th was amazing. And so ladies have already started taking these spots and they are going like hotcakes. So April the 19th at 7 p.m. And that is the link right there. Easy peasy, Epic Boot Camp. I would love to see you there so you can develop your epic attitude, so you can obtain the things that you want, so you can have confidence, clarity, and consistency in your life. One more time in the chat. Yes, teachers, I got your inbox. Faith in it, facing it, and fulfilling our purpose. That's what effort is all about. Hey, Tony. Tony said effort, and you all, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, when you change your perspective, you change your life. Let me say that one more time. When you change your perspective, you change your life. Ladies, Cartia, I just want to say thank you. I know you my little sis, little big brother in the background, you all, but we're going to all get up here one day.
Yes, that's going to be so fun.
It is. It's going to be amazing. And so you already spoke, get little big brother in here. He popped on. And so thank you, Joe. We love you. Keep effing it up out there.
F it, you heard?
You heard? You heard? Selena said, thanks, family.
I care with y'all too.
It is a family affair indeed. But I want to say thank you all for your time. Thank you for those who already shared the video out. If you haven't, guess what you need to do? Hit that share button. It's going to take you like 1 or 2 seconds, right? Selena said, thanks, Joe. Yes, Selena is Pam, okay? All the way in New York, okay? Yes. Oh Lord, Selena, we getting ready to get off here, Selena. But you all, I just want to say thank you because some of you have showed up every single day so far, and we're not even done. We're going all the way through the 31st, and the series is going to continue. So look, okay, thank you, Melissa, for sharing. Love you, love you, love you. And so everyone, look, this has been another episode of the F It series where we are effing it up all around the world. I am Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, what? all of that. And I will see you all later. Have a good night, you all.